The last part, and more into merit, is dealing with situations in this graph. And one of the things that comes out of that is that sometimes we have to find the point when something changes, and that could be when two lines intersect. So when two lines intersect, we need to find the point that they intersect at. So for this, you have to tell them that what you're finding is the intersection of those points, and you've got a couple of methods for doing it. The first one, if we had a nice graph like this one, y equals 2/3 x plus 2, and this one, which is y equals negative quarter x plus 5. So we want to find that point there. In this particular case, because it's written in the y equals mx plus c mode, it's easiest to use your graphics calculator. But what you need to say is that you are solving these simultaneously. So you need to actually say, solving these simultaneously using my graphics calculator, okay, so that they know you know what you're doing. So if you're doing it on your graphics calculator, you need to first of all go to graph mode, take my sauce so I can read, and put in these two equations. So y equals 2 fraction button 3x plus 2, and another one, negative 1 fraction button 4x plus 5. All right, then draw it. So once you've drawn it, you can see that on my picture it's a lot different from what I've drawn on the board, but that's okay. It's because my axes are weird. Let's see if I can get a better view window. Okay, so you can see it there, kind of looks like what we were looking for, this point here where they intersect. And to do that, all we actually have to do is go Shift G solve, and then it says here F5 is intersection, and that's going to find the point. So we push F5, and it's really horrible. It's 3.272727. So we'll just write 27 for the moment, and y equals 4.18. So those are to 2dp, which is fine if we're talking about money or something like that. We have to read and think about whether it could be an answer, because if it's like how many people, we don't get 4.18 people, so we might have to pull it back to 4, or say somewhere between 4 and 5 people. So we have to be able to interpret what's going on. We have to be able to interpret the rate of this. So the rate of this is that we're going up by 2 every 3 we go across. So it could be we're increasing by 2 people every 3 seconds, or we're going down by 1 person every 4 seconds, if that was the context that we have it in. So that's one way of finding it. If we don't have that way, if we have it in the cover-up method way, so let's say we had this one, which is 4 and 5, so we've got 4x plus 5y equals 20. 4 and 5, yep. And this one, which is negative 2 and negative 1 and 2. So that means that one's going to be a negative, which is an x. So we've got negative 2x plus 1 equals 2. No, plus y. All right. So if we've got those equations, we can rearrange them to put them into this form and use this way, or we've got another place on our graphics calculator. So if we go to menu and find equations, we come up with these instructions, all right? We want the top one, simultaneous. So if we push F1, it says how many unknowns do we have? We have x and y, that's 2. So we push 2, and now we have a little boxy thing, and we're going to put in the coefficients as we go across the row. So we're going to put in 4, 5, 20, negative 2, 1, 2. So 4, 5, 20, negative 2, 1y, and 2. And push that, and we will find out here what the answer is. Now, you've got a decimal answer up here for x and y, but down here, the actual fractional answer for x is 5/7, and that's a perfect answer, whereas this one is an approximate answer. So it depends, and if we go down, we get the y value one, which is 3 3/7. All right, they're the ones I'm going to write. So x is 5/7 and y is 3 3/7. All right, so there's two different ways of doing it on your calculator. You can, of course, do it by hand, and some of you have learned to do that. But if you don't understand that, you're allowed to use your calculator as long as you say solving simultaneously. You must understand that that's the process that you are doing to get that point of intersection. There's one more case which is really easy, and it's when we have a line that goes like this. So this line here says that y equals -3. So we can just put it straight into, to find this point, we can put -3 into here. So if we've got y equals -3 and 4x plus 5y equals 20, we can get 4x plus -3 times 5 is -15 equals 20. 4x equals 35, x equals 35/4, which is 8 3/4. All right, so you can find the x that way. So our point that we're looking at is 8 3/4 seconds and -3 people, or whatever it happens to be, whichever way it is around. All right, so you can use those two. The algebraic part of this is linear algebra, so we're expecting you to show you can do algebraic things in order to pass this assessment. So you have to be able to do at least two things to pass the assessment and show that you can do them, but you want merit, so we need to be able to answer the question. So we need to be able to substitute and find out what's happening in the graph and explain whatever the questions are that are asked. Now for excellence, it's a little bit harder to tell you what to do because you have to use abstract thinking. That means that you have to think outside the box about how you might go about fixing a problem or making something better, improving or whatever. You have to think about that. I can't tell you what to do.